Hello everyone, Urshan here and welcome to my channel. I'm really excited to be back. It's been almost 2 months since I last made my last video, and I really apologize for that. I thought I would just let you know what I've been up to. So I recently started my temp job. I've also been cooking a lot of my meals, and I also started training for my half marathon. So that has been taking up a lot of my time after work. But nevertheless, I'm more settled now and I'm ready and more excited to make even more videos. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you a review on the book Blink by Malcolm Gladwell, and I've been reading this book over the past month and I have not been disappointed. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my 3 takeaways from the book, which are how you can predict the future of a marriage, how a lot of the decisions that you make every day are not really your own, and I will also be sharing with you an interesting study done by 2 psychologists, Sheena Iyengar and Raymond Fissman, about speed dating. So if you find these topics interesting, do stay tuned for the rest of the video. One thing I've learned from reading the book Blink is that it is possible to predict the future of a marriage in a fairly accurate manner in a short amount of time. And actually, you don't need a lot of information about the couple in different contexts. You think that you need to observe the couple in many different situations, in different contexts, and over a long period of time. For example, observing the couple when they're happy, observing the couple when they're in a fight, and so on. But actually, it's not necessary. You can make an accurate prediction in 15 minutes about the future of a couple. And you can do this all thanks to something called thin slicing. Thin slicing refers to the ability of the unconscious to find patterns in behaviors and situations based on very narrow slices of experiences. And you can do this because all marriages have a distinct pattern. If you want to know how a couple is doing, all you need to do is to ask the couple to tell you the story of how they met. Because according to the psychologist John Gottman, when a husband and wife recount the most important episode in their life, the pattern shows up right away. And this pattern is basically the ratio of positive and negative emotions. And all you need to do is to track the levels of positive and negative emotions, often in a graph, and see where the graph is going. And for some couples, the graph will go up and up and up. For others, it will start on a bad course and they're just unable to fix it. And what is very important to note is that this graph is not just a slice in time. This graph is how the couple view their relationship. And to help you out, to figure out what kind of negative emotions you should focus on when you're observing the couple, is you should focus on what John Gottman calls the 4 horsemen, which are the emotions stonewalling, criticism, defensiveness, and contempt. Because there's so many negative emotions, you need to be able to focus on the main ones, because John Gottman has found by just focusing on these emotions, he's able to find out as much information as he needs. So by focusing on these emotions, you will be able to predict accurately the future of a couple's marriage. The second thing that I've learned from the book Blink is about the phenomenon of priming, and how a lot of what we think of as free will is largely just an illusion. A lot of the times, human beings behave the way they do only because they have been primed to do so. And in the book Blink, Malcolm uses the experiment devised by John Barr to explain his point. So for the experiment done by John, what he did is he got a group of participants to come to his office to do a grammar test, or what they thought was actually a grammar test. However, throughout the test, John actually scattered words associated to old age inside. So he put in words such as old, wrinkled, gray, Florida, and bingo inside the test. And so while the participants were busy trying to look out for grammar errors, their subconscious was actually taking note of all these words. And what happened is that at the end of the experiment, what John found was the participants actually had their behavior affected because they started to walk out of the office very slowly compared to when they were walking in. And the reason is because what your subconscious was doing is it was actually taking note of all these words associated to old age, and it was taking it in, and it was becoming obsessed with it. And this in turn affected your behavior. And this is very scary because this all happens in your subconscious, and you're not aware that you are actually being affected by all these influences. And this is very scary, especially in the real world when it comes to things like advertisements as well, because they're all around us, and they are just completely being bombarded all the time by all these influences. So by being aware that your subconscious may be working on another level without your awareness, you can begin to train yourself to look out for all these changes in your behavior. The third thing that I've learned from the book Blink is that many of us are not very objective about ourselves. In the book, Malcolm uses the experiment done by two psychologists, Raymond Fishman and Sheena Iyengar, on speed dating to explain his point. What these two psychologists did is that they got daters to fill out a questionnaire on what they looked for in a romantic partner. And they asked them to fill out the questionnaire over 4 occasions. One time before the speed dating event, a second time in the evening after the speed dating event, a third time a month after the event has passed, and a final 4th time 6 months after the speed dating event. And what these two psychologists found is that the dating preferences of the participants actually change over the course of the 4 questionnaires. And what this shows is that who we think we are attracted to and who we are actually attracted to are rarely the same. To further explain this point, Malcolm uses the example of a dater called Mary. So, for example, if you ask Mary to describe what she looks for in a romantic partner at the beginning of the speed dating event, if she tells you that she is looking for someone sincere and smart, that in no way means that during the speed dating event, Mary will only be interested in smart and sincere men. In fact, if all the men Mary end up liking during the speed dating event are more attractive and funny than they are smart and sincere, if you ask Mary to describe her romantic preferences, she will tell you that she likes funny and attractive men, but that's just the next day. If you ask Mary to describe her preferences again a month later, she will go back to saying that she likes smart and sincere men. Now, Mary has an idea of what she wants in a man, but this idea, isn't wrong, it's just incomplete. When, description that Mary starts off with is her conscious ideal of what she looks for in a man when she sits down to think about it. But what Mary cannot be certain about is the criteria she uses to form her preferences in that first few moments when she meets someone face to face. When it comes to romance, we cannot rationally describe what kind of person we will fall in love with. That's why we go on dates to test our theories on what attracts us. And I just found this example really interesting because it shows that, a lot of times our preferences actually change. Our preferences of what we like and dislike are always evolving and always changing. And the best way to sort of get better at knowing what you like and dislike is to constantly try new things and go out there and test your theories. Alright, we've come to the end of my video on my takeaways from the book Blink by Malcolm Gladwell. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you were able to take away a few learning points as well. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit the like button. So I'll see you in my next video then. Thank you for listening. Bye!